Hey, and we got vision. So let's get in position, ready to transition. What's good, everybody? Positive power, prosperous peace to your beautiful, beautiful minds out there. I'm the biggest brain. Welcome to the Brain Space channel. And this is another one. This one is called As Within, So Without Explained, which is a direct follow up from As Above, So Below. So if you didn't see that one, you might want to check that one out, as that one explains a whole lot before actually coming to the As Within, So Without part. Plus, all of the terminologies that are used in that video are also repeating themselves in this one. So, actually, I'm supposed to jump right in, but I really want to know how have y'all been doing? Seriously, for this, what, 13, last 13, let's say in between 12 and 14 days. How have y'all been? Because we have been going to crazy shifts, crazy shifts. We had the sun making this transition from the Pisces sign to the Aries sign. And those who don't know what this actually means, just let me keep it surface level. Aries is the beginning of spring. Aries is the beginning of the beginning. Spring does not last 1 month. Spring lasts almost about 90 days. So Aries is the beginning of the beginning, and Pisces is the end of the end. And the moon passed the sun while it was making this transition. So everybody has been going through drastic changes in their lives. Drastic changes. Drastic changes. And they might not be necessarily happening to you, but you are witness to it happening to somebody if it isn't you. So I'm really, really, really hoping that everybody out there is doing well, taking good care of yourself, be nice to people, be a kind person, because that person that you are being not nice to might not be able to do it back to you, but the planets don't hold nothing in consideration, and they will balance out all negativity and positivity that we put in and out. So be careful, be nice, be good, be and not like be good like a dog or something. Now be a good person from the inside out. Now, you might wonder why what I'm saying now is even relevant. This actually also ties in into this question. The reason why we are 1/3 physical and 1/3 mental and 1/3 spiritual. Yeah. We are 1/3 physical, 1/3 mental, and 1/3 spiritual. What does that mean? That means that 2/3 of us, the spiritual and the mental part, is not here, literally. So if we are 1/3 here and 2/3 not here, that means that the biggest portion of your existence happens behind the scenes. And this is where the relevancy of this knowledge comes in. Now, whoever watched the last video, yeah, could could come to the clue very, very quickly that it is basically all about directions. But what about directions is so important when we are talking about as within, so without, as above, so below. Now, we're gonna go over it surface level because that is also something I want to try something out in with subtitles. So I'm also going to try to keep it as short as possible, as my last videos were so long that the subtitle part was poof, it was a lot of work. So this is the first one that I'm going to try that one out. Now, that also out of the way, I got so much that I actually want to share, but it has nothing to do with what we are doing here. So as above, towards the sky, that is a direction. That is a direction. If you got a plane or a balloon or whatever, you can travel into that direction. Once you are above, below is a direction in which you can travel. Above and below, these are directions. Now, the topic that we are discussing, as within, so without, these are also directions, within and without, and above and below. Four directions, front, back, side to side. Now, what we are pointing out right now, or what I am pointing out right now, is that it is the outside which is the inverted opposite of our inside and not the way around. Which means that everything that we see on our outside was there inside first for it to be there on the outside. What is the important part that we need to remember about this, what I just said? Outside here in this third dimensional world, let's put it like that, we always know where we are going, because else you're not going anywhere. You cannot literally, you cannot start walking without having a destination, even if you're not going to do there, like hang out or something, going at the sandbox to just stand there. You need to pinpoint that location for you to start to travel, even if you're not going to do anything over there. That is not the point right now. The point is that you need to know where you're going. Now, we are not dealing here with a reality that translates itself as being as without, so shall it be within. No, as within, so shall it be without. But outside of us, we need to know where we are going before we can go anywhere. So, what is this video basically is going to be about? Once inside, you need to know where you're going, just like outside. Now, again, directions. Um, I didn't point it out. Where's my pointing stick? We are here now. And this is going to be the longest, most repetitive, almost maybe redundant sounding part of the whole lecture. But that is because once we have this part done, we're going to fly over the rest of the transition. Why? Because we need to hammer um, new ways of looking at old words. These old words, like for instance, directions, there is nothing new about it until you understand where we need to place it inside of us. Which directions do we have inside of us to go towards to? Now, let's zoom in on the term directions for a second. It might sound repetitive. It might sound maybe even childish, but understand where the point of view is coming from. It doesn't matter if it is your keys or the locksmith at the mall because you broke your key. It doesn't matter if it is your phone or the phone house because your charger broke or something. It doesn't matter if it is your bank card or the actual ATM. Yeah? It doesn't matter if the location, now the words are going to come. We got directions and we got locations. It doesn't matter if the location is inside of your house or outside of your house. It doesn't matter if the location is in your room. Your keys could be in your room. It doesn't matter if the location is outside. You broke the key. You need to go to a locksmith. We are always directing ourselves and moving, aka traveling, in a certain direction towards a location. Now, remember, everything that I just said is what we also do within. As a matter of fact, we do it within first. And everything that we do within is what we do without. Now, keep spiritual game. So, basically, what I was saying is that everything has a location which we call its place. Now, with that being said, confirmed and understood, let's move on. Everything is somewhere, and you are nowhere where everything is. I will repeat. Everything is somewhere, and you, the person, is nowhere where everything is. May it be inside of your house or outside of your house, in your room or outside of your room. It doesn't matter. Everything is somewhere, and you are nowhere where everything is. So you stand up, right? And you travel towards the location where that something is. We stand up, right? And we travel towards wherever that location is. Now, let's continue building on. Don't let the part of standing up, yeah, standing up right to be very, very exact. Don't let that part go over your head, yeah, because we can also stand up left, but to stand up left, that is us doing a handstand. This is the resting position. We can stand up left on our arms, or we can stand up right on our feet. Don't let that part pass by you. Why? Animals, for instance, rise and set. Their body, spine, their body stays in the same horizontal position, whether they are asleep, on their feet, running, traveling, walking. Their body is always in the same position as that they sleep in, rest in, get born in, and die in. Remember this. Now, the yeah, I think that I'm going to do a whole video for the animal part because that is actually very, very, very interesting. Because think about it. Most animals are not bigger than a human, but yet faster. Think about rabbits, um, 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 dogs, maybe even cats, and them, squirrels. Like we are dealing here with a whole bunch of bodies. Every being is inside of a body, and almost every being on this earth is faster than us, has a greater sense of smell, a greater sense of, hey, here it comes, direction. They can travel for miles, and they always reach a certain location. Remember this, this is going to come back. They always reach a certain location. They always know the direction to go into. Now, the reason why we are dealing with, for instance, the speed. Why are animals faster than us? Because where we tilt our spine when we get born is equal at the ground, is equal at the horizon, and then we tilt it up on its axis. Animals keep their body in that same position. So the energy inside of them is traveling in the same direction of the horizon. This land is horizontally flat. This physical plane is horizontally flat. Animals, the energy that is inside of them is going up and down their spine in the same direction of the land. We tilted ourselves up and our energies is now going upwards instead of frontwards. So the part of the animal kingdom is very, very interesting. But again, I am digressing, talking about something that is actually not part of the video, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The only thing that we do are going to stick to is that notice a small difference in between everything that I said because I wasn't going to talk about animals that much, but notice this little part. I didn't even notice actually that I said that. But for us, for human beings, the direction is almost never fixed. It's not fixed. For animals, the direction is fixed that they travel to warmer places, better, more food places, caves because the winter is coming and they need to hibernate or whatever. The direction is always fixed for animals. It is the location that can be different every year around. The location doesn't look the same. This year around, it might have been a tough winter. When they get there, vegetation is still growing. This year around, it might have been a soft winter. This year around, they might get there and there are people building. They cannot even go anymore to that location. They need to look for a new one. So for animals, the direction is always fixed and the location is not, basically. And for us, human beings, the direction is never fixed. Today you might take the bike, tomorrow you might take the car, the day after you might meet a friend, walk a little bit with him, and then go to your location or whatever. The direction is not fixed. We can take a whole lot of routes, ways to Rome. But Rome is fixed. The location where we are traveling to doesn't matter the direction that we take, it is the location that is fixed. We always know the location that we are traveling towards to. That is our destination. Now, let's move on. Because the part of the animals that intrigues me. Like I really am fascinated by existence itself. Everything that has a body is a spirit in a mind in a body. Everything else, the body is not moving or something like that. Everything that grows under the sun is a body. I almost said biological, but I'm going to retract that so that science gurus don't come at me. But y'all understand what I mean. If you do, if you don't, hang in there. You'll get there. It's the Brace Page channel where the knowledge is going to be waiting for you at some point. But let's get back to the thing, to the topic of the video. So, what we have, what we have is not having directions, and what we have is not knowing where a location is placed. You either have no directions or you don't know where the location is placed where you need to travel to. Now, let's do a quick rundown so that we can move out of this part. Let's do a quick rundown. So, because a lot have been said that didn't even have to do with what we was talking about. So let's make a quick small rundown. A object is the location, yeah? A location is a certain place. A place is in a certain space, and this space is again inside of a space. And if you don't understand how you need to comprehend that, just think about it like this. You're going to the mall. The mall is a space. Then you're going to the locksmith. Let's stick to the locksmith. The lock, once you get in front of the locksmith's store, you go inside of that space so that you can get served. The space that you are inside of is in a space which is the store, and the store is inside of a space which is the mall, and the mall is inside of a space which is the outside of the mall. And that is important for us to grasp. Before you get the actual outside, you get the ventilation, cabling, fire exits and routes and stuff like that. There is a whole lot going on after the mall that we don't see, but the mall have a whole space behind these walls that we see in the mall. Ask the security guy, he'll tell you about it. So, the rundown. A object is the location. It doesn't matter if the object is so small that it fits in your hand or that the object is so big that it is something that you can walk into. The object, because that building is an object. The object is the location. The smaller the object, now you can get yourself that the location is able to change. Somebody might grab the keys and put it somewhere else. But guess what? You're not going to stand there where the keys were looking for them. No, you're going to travel, redirect yourself, and travel to the new location where it is placed. So, an object is the location. A location is a certain place. This place is in a certain space, and this space is again inside of a space. And now here it becomes more funnier because after that you get the outside. But the outside is also in between two spaces. The one we call outer space, the one we call the deep sea. Now, why don't we go outer space or in the deep sea? What makes that we stay here in the middle of these two spaces? Pressure. And remember, I might be sounding like as if I'm talking a lot, but at one point, everything that I said is now going to turn inside. So follow me. During, not during, because of pressure, yeah, we are kept exactly here in this atmosphere that we are in. As soon as we get out, our ears will let us know you're going too far, you're doing too much. As soon as we go too deep, our ears will let us know, is oxygen a joke to you? Go get some oxygen. Go up there. Go back. Go back to where you came from. Go back to your place. Down there or up there is not our place. As within, so shall it be without. Inside, up and down is also directions that we don't travel in. We move front, back, and side to side. Now, stay with me. Um, okay, I already said that. As within, that is also how it will be on the outside. So, and not the way around. Okay, that is why I'm going so repetitive over certain things that I'm saying. You will notice in a bit, but we need to understand that everything that I am describing is for you to get a perspective, but outside perspective, so that you have things that you can hold on to when we bring this inside of us. Because once inside, we are in the dark. You cannot see. Guess what? You need to know where you're going. What determines where you're going? Your location and your direction. So basically what I'm breaking down right now is that every aspect of you, everything that you can think of in the physical world has a specific location. Everything around you, may it be inside of your room, inside of your bedroom, inside of your house, outside of your house. So now it is not even yours anymore. Outside, everything has a specific location. Cars don't park on the roof. Street poles are not attached to houses. The road is not in the park. The park is not on the road. Like everything has a specific place, or our reality will literally stop making sense to us, because it is as within, so shall it be without. So literally those who have built this construct that we live in, that is what they did to the best of their ability. Built this place to look like the mirror reflection of our inside. That is why we are comfortable out here instead of inside. But hey, we'll get there. So, as I said, everything around you, and especially if it's yours, has a specific location. Inside as well, everything has a specific location. For instance, your mind has a specific location. And just like out here, if you have known directions, you can get anywhere. If you have the directions, you can get anywhere. You can go anywhere because you know the directions. And if you don't know the directions, or if you don't know the location, you cannot start traveling. Everything is a direction. Inside is also a direction. But if you don't know the directions or locations, locations, then once inside, you're in the dark. You're lost. That is what it means to be lost. So, before we continue, what I would say basically is, for one to start its spiritual journey, and I quote, for one to start its spiritual journey, one must have a direction and a known location. And I quote, biggest brain, of course. But that is more serious than a quote. You know, everything outside of you has a location. The train station has a location. If you don't know how to find it, you cannot get to it. Every aspect of us inside of us is a location. Every aspect of us inside of us is a location that we can travel to if we know how to get to that destination. So let's build on to this. Now, Why is everything that I have said up until now even important? Well, let's start there. Okay, in the video prior to this one, I explained all the dimensions in which we are present simultaneously. Okay, like one is all and all is one. Okay, all of these are inside of, no, I'm saying it wrong. All of these are locations that we are present at the same time. All is happening simultaneously. How do you need to look at this? The sun doesn't turn into the sun, then turn into it, and then turn into light. No, the sun gives off heat and light. It is present in the first and in the second dimension as it is in the third. But as we are also in the third, we can see the sun, but we don't see the heat and the light, but we can feel it. And for those who don't understand that we don't see the light, that is because light gets, how do you say that? It's just like your inner light. We know that we are alive, but we cannot explain that energy that is doing that. That is how we need to look at light. Or if you look at light externally, yeah, 3D wise, that is why once you go inside, it's dark. Now you don't know how to move because you take light to be something that gets, how do you even say that in English? I don't even know how you say that in English. Light doesn't get sent off. You don't send off light. A lamp emits light. It doesn't send light off. Not even a, how would you call it? How do you call these things? I don't even know how you call these things, but lanterns, for instance, they emit light. Not that they send light in a specific direction. That is not what the sun is doing. Plus, that is not what we are doing. As above, so below. Guess what? Your light and your heat is inside of you. Literally, your heat, your body heat is not hanging around you and it's not coming from the outside to your inside. No, it is inside of you already. And we already mastered this. The first and the second are inside of the third. We already mastered this. And it is also beautiful to realize that these are just the first three. These are just the first three. There are six more to go. But let's build it. Let's build it on so that I don't want to lose people with too much information. Plus this part I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to blow it up and make its own video because for the animals I'm also going to use this exact illustration. So now um and that is also something that has to be noted. Yeah, we don't start here, go in here. No, this is the source. We start here. Here is where the Big Bang begins. Okay, so 9 is the first number and 1 is the last number. That is also something for us to actually realize. We fall here, we fall to the third dimension. Yeah, I keep pointing it with my finger while I got my whole tinny here. Over here in the middle, the source, boom, Big Bang, funny. We fall towards the third dimension. Yeah, and once at the third, we turn around and we go back up, descending and ascending. And once we are ascending, we experience physical and sky. And once we are descending, we are experiencing mind, mental, mind, and spirit. More about that when we are going to explain this illustration in the next video, where I'm going to break down every dimension, but in the aspect that it is. This is the fall. This is the inversion. This is what we are experiencing right now. And this is where we are afraid to go. This is inside where we are afraid to go. We will break this down in the next video because this is going to make me digress like crazy. But okay, to keep it pushing. Okay, to keep it pushing. Now that I have explained, now that we have gone over this a little bit, this little baby right here. 1 second. You gotta love that tea though. Hey. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Where was I? I drew out this little illustration here. Y'all can see two lines. One is horizontal, yeah, and one is vertical, yeah. You can see these two lines here. You can also see this standing here, pointing towards this horizontal line, and it says resting. Why? What does this mean? Yeah. Whenever we are falling, yeah, whenever we are falling, we fall until the third. Yeah, we don't go further than the third because the first and the second is already inside of us. We already mastered these. These are already ticked off. We good on these two. Now, whenever we come down to this third dimension, we fall in a physical body with the physical body in a horizontal position. And that is important for us to understand. Nobody gets born running around, right? So we come to this earth, we call that birth. We come, not earth, space. We come to this space, yeah, what we call birth, with the body in a horizontal position. Then when we rest in this space, what we call sleep, we do that also with the body in a horizontal position. And when we leave this space, aka death, we do that also in a horizontal position. And this is important for us to understand that the only reason that we get upright, stand upright, is to travel. And it doesn't matter if this travel is playing as kids or something, exploring, experimenting, it doesn't matter. It's a travel from a spot when it is still a baby, from a spot to a spot. And the bigger you grow, you are literally going to start traveling from space to space. Doesn't matter if it is room, living room, bathroom, take a bath, room, school, room, friend's house, room. You are always traveling from space to space. Always. Now, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to repeat anything that I already said, and I was actually just spitting, and now I realize that I already did half of this already. Yeah, I'm actually going quicker than I thought, which is a good thing because, and for in case y'all wonder where I'm reading from, my biggest problem is not keeping notes, but talking way too much. So what I'm doing right now is trying to reduce my amount of talking by writing down the point that I'm going to hit to not go outside of that. So exact way around basically. But now, um, we have already spoken about the spaces. We have already spoken about locations, and we have already spoken about positions. But we are going to go a little bit more deeper into the positioning because in a bit we're going to talk about the angle of minds. The angle. These are angles that we are looking at in the same direction. So in a bit we're going to start talking about the angle, but first the position. Now, what about the position? Because when we come in this body, the position is horizontal. And then when we lift it right up, yeah, this is why our sense is not as strong as animals. Our vision is not as strong as animals. So every how would you say it? Every trait that every animal has that makes them a greater being, we lose that. We don't have these traits at all because of standing up. Now, before we can start any travel, Yeah, before we can start any travel, like for instance, for me to be able to start any travel, I need to reposition myself. What type of repositioning is that? That is the standing upright and facing the direction, for instance, the door. If I don't do that, then literally nothing is happening. I cannot travel. As it is within, so shall it be without, and not the way around. Don't forget. Now, we know what the positions mean, you know. And in the last video, if you missed it, you really should check it out. But in the last video, we also broke down the construct in which all of this is taking place. That construct which is not supportive of brilliancy. So, in this construct, you have three minds traveling this construct. And these three minds I broke down in the very first video as the bored mind, the broad mind, and the brilliant mind. In the next video, I described the bored mind as the entertained mind because of boredom, that mind is searching or intrigued by entertainment. In the broad mind, I've described as the interested mind. And the ninth, or not the ninth dimensional mind, but the brilliant mind, I have described in this one as the messenger. But we will get to that point. Now, what is it about these three minds? You have the entertained mind. The entertained mind is the third dimensional person that doesn't know how to go inside. Everything is physical, everything is emotional, everything is imaginary. Doesn't know how to go inside. The interested mind knows how to go inside, but once inside, no sense of direction and no sense of location. Doesn't know where any location is, plus it doesn't know any directions to get anywhere. And then you have the brilliant mind. This video will have to be confirming what it is that he is doing out here, right? Like I said, I described him as the messenger. Now, what makes this what I am saying right now, the entertained, the interested, and the brilliant mind, what makes what I say relevant for these three minds? Because all of us is all of this. Everybody is all is one and one is all. That goes for all of us. But we got a whole lot of people also asking me, for instance, where do I get my information from? And that is actually what I am showing right now. The awareness makes the whole difference. So, where do I get my information from? By knowing thyself from within, going out, and not the way around. And that starts with the position in which you are directing yourself before you start your travel on the inside. The same is out here, but the thing is, out here, nobody has to tell you how to get to the train station. You know, you got Google Maps or something, you just know. But the key word is know. On the inside is the exact same thing. By knowing the self from the inside out, which starts with the position in which you are directing yourself before you start your travel. Yeah, what we need to get out of this is on the inside, the way that you direct yourself for your travel towards your destination. On the outside, that is how we look at life. Because understand, these locations inside of us, these are not the mall, and these are not, no, these are um, traits. These are important traits of us. We got our awareness, we got our inner judge, we got our physicality, we got our oversight, we got our soul, we got our minds, we got our creative abilities, we got our natures and our knowing. These are real kind of like pivotal important locations for us to know how to get there. And once on the inside you know how to get there, on the outside this changes how you look at life. Now, so basically, so basically at the end of this video, what is it that needs to be clear? What is what the point that I'm trying to reach? Yeah. If on the inside it has all the effect on how we look at life on the outside, then we need to start understanding that, especially here on the outside, we don't learn life. I don't even know who came up with that. We don't learn life. You don't live and you learn. We all have heard these sayings at least once in our lives. You live and you learn. But that is actually not true. What is facts is you live and you learn how to look at life. And that is a very detailed point pointed out right there. We live and we learn, but we learn how to look at life. Remember, isn't Earth a school? What is it that we came to learn here? Little that you know. Yeah? No, let's go in on that actually for a second. What makes the third dimension the school that we all enrolled in all together? We all came to the school of hard knocks, but what? Why? What makes this place a school? Now, answer. The only thing that this place, Earth, third dimension, not Earth, I'm sorry about that, the third dimension, the only thing that this dimension accurately resembles is a school, a space of learning. Like more we cannot do here. It's a space of learning. And little that you know, learning how to look at life is the wisest lesson that we came to learn here. All of us. The wisest lesson that we came here to learn is how to look at life. Oh, and thus, and to make class just slightly a little bit, just tiny little bit more complicated, we turned on our belly, like some super weirdos, and we stood straight upright and start moving left to the front. And for you who is now like, what did he just say? Yeah. Do y'all remember the cassette deck for those who are, old enough to remember what the cassette deck is? The rewind button. Yeah? The rewind button points to the right. And the fast forward button points to the left. Front, back, and side to side. More about that in the next video. Just know that that main thing that we came here to do is learn how to look at life. Now, this video is definitely also a tryout for a shorter video. I'm not trying to go over an half hour. I don't even know how long I'm going now. But I'm going to round up this one as within, so without explained. And you are feel free to ask whatever you feel necessary to ask so that I can make shorter videos but about specific, very specific points in whatever people are interested in to know. I got way too much information to fit it all in. That is going to be another video of like an hour plus or something, and it is a headache to get them uploaded. So, and I'm already blah 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 blah. I missed y'all. I hope that y'all are good. Biggest brain is the name. Brain space is where you came. The knowledge will be waiting for you. See you on the next one. And is there anything else? Peace.